Warning: the following video discusses themes such as transphobia, suicide, harassment, and all sorts of horrible things. Please click off if that's not something you want to see or hear. This channel loves and accepts everyone. Bigotry will not be tolerated. I'm a little late to the party, but at least I showed up. I was a little concerned about posting this video. I don't want to be seen as some sort of political content creator, as most of my videos are just about anime and spooky shit. But then I got frustrated because this shouldn't be seen as a political take, you know? My existence isn't political, your existence isn't political, nobody's existence is political. To me, a political take is an opinion, not a fact. Like, do you believe in gun rights? You may say yes, you may say no, but that's an opinion you can change at any time. I want Yodoichi from Bleach to fucking step on me. Whether you think that's okay or not, that's a fact about me that you can't change. I was also concerned because I think one thing that turns people away from listening to these heavy topics is that some of us can sound condescending when discussing it. Don't get me wrong, I get why. When you argue with enough bad faith people, it becomes less about changing minds and more about dunking on that dumbass. But the last thing I want is to come off as condescending to those who are willing to hear me out. So I want to be real careful with my wording here. Since my last video, I've been wanting to talk more in depth about transphobia in the Vtuber community. I did touch on it in my Hogwarts video, but since the day I posted it, I saw so much more transphobia. It's always been an issue in the Vtuber community. Hell, transphobia's been a problem everywhere. I don't know if you guys have seen current events, but that shit ain't looking so good. In the past few years alone, hate crimes against trans people have been on the rise. The Vtuber community is a place where we create who we want to be and have a space to be ourselves. If anything, you would think a community like that would be accepting. Instead, when the Silverville incident happened where she cried on stream, it was extremely divisive and there was harassment on both sides. But a whole slew of transphobic hate skyrocketed. Silverville denounced this behavior, but unfortunately it didn't stop much. Trans VTubers were getting harassed, hate rated. Some apparently even decided to graduate. Some even got doxxed. I even saw some people say they wanted to become a VTuber, but no longer felt like they'd be safe in such a community. And that fucking sucks. My online life feels like the only place in the world where I can be myself a little. So it makes me really sad to see aspiring VTubers no longer feel welcome. Maybe I'm projecting my own feelings a bit, but you really have no clue what a small online space for just yourself means to some of us. I didn't have a place in the world where I felt I belonged, so I made one for me, and I think everybody should have that ability. Then after the Silverville situation, a VTuber by the name of Ali Archer tweeted about their cousin in the VTuber community ending their own life. Very, very tragic. How do you think the VTuber community reacted? Well, our supposed allies decided to blame Silverville rather than show empathy to a grieving human being. Now, some did show compassion and urge others to seek help if they're feeling suicidal. Even mutuals and friends of mine were saddened by this news and very empathetic to the situation. But those that made the biggest circulation around my Twitter timeline were very disgusting individuals using the death of a human being for personal gain. Now I know what you're gonna say. But Charlie, you silly little bitch, wasn't Ali Archer lying about their cousin's suicide for clout crumbs? Yes. But seeing how at the time people thought this was a true story, my point still stands. If this is how you react to a human being's suicide, you are not a good person. And of course, when it came out that the suicide was fake, transphobes ate that shit up and harassed trans people even more. Here's the really frustrating part too. Most of the people I've seen doing the harassment on behalf of the LGBTQ aren't even trans. This is a very frustrating issue that's very common in the LGBT community. Supposed allies who aren't actual allies just use us as stepping stones to say how good a person they are, and they will say and do crazy shit that we are not okay with. Then, once they leave a mess for us to clean, homophobes and transphobes harass and blame us for it. The entirety of the trans community did not get together and decide to fake this. So why is the trans community at fault for it being fake? Shouldn't the bad guy be the one who faked it? This mess even halted this video. I was a tad skeptical this was real. The timing felt a bit too intentional. And this wouldn't be the first time a VTuber faked to death for attention. But I wasn't going to risk it, and if it was real, I thought it would be insensitive to make a video on transphobia in the VTuber community right after a trans VTuber dies. Pikami is a very popular VTuber who faced a lot of backlash and harassment for wanting to play the wizard game. She decided not to stream it after all the negative attention from the internet. In case you didn't watch my Hogwarts video, I think harassing somebody over a video game is bad and immoral. There's no such thing as ethical consumerism. I am completely black-pilled on this topic. If you want to boycott the game, then spread why you believe it should be boycotted. That's completely fine. Do that. But sending hate and harassment to people who aren't boycotting it isn't helping anyone and is actively doing more harm than good. Anyway, Pikami is graduating and transphobes were thrilled to have more ammo to fuel their hate against the trans community. The last few situations had transphobes acting crazy, but this went completely deranged, mask-off, lunatic mode. Everyone just jumped the gun and assumed she was graduating over the Hogwarts shit. Like, y'all really think she graduated 'cause of that? Give her a little more credit, jeez. I instantly assumed when this was announced that it had nothing to do with that fiasco and the timing was just not so great. Now, transphobes in the VTuber community are openly saying how much they hate trans people, wishing the already high suicide rate would go up, casually threatening or wishing death on trans people, and I am positive it is not easy being a trans VTuber right now. I like Pikami. I'm disappointed she's graduating. She's genuinely adorable and sweet from what I've seen. You can't call yourself a Pikami fan, then use her as an excuse to justify hate because she wouldn't want that. Do you actually think she would be okay with fake screenshots like this floating around? Hell, I can't even look at Pikami fan art without seeing this shit. Oh, it's so cute. Look at that. Oh, it's one of those fixed it arts. Oh gosh, those people are always so annoying. The freaking fun police. Hidden, hidden, hidden. Me seeing the hidden replies. What's in the hidden? Oh, that's not good. Why do you support harassment? That's not what that image is saying at all. I feel like I've seen this image like 20 times. Like, get a new joke already. Let's increase that 1%. I don't like it here. Oh my god. Okay. I don't think I can show that. But it's a depicting decapitation. This image again, very creative, very creative. Pronouns was were. Oh my god. I don't think I can show this either. It's a meme, I guess, depicting you guys know Chad? You guys know Chad? We all know Chad has a rope and then there's another person. And I would rather not explain this image any further. Genuinely sociopathic behavior. Like, literally seek help. Here's the kicker. She's not even graduating because of the wizard fiasco. I could have fucking told you that one. Pikami decided months before she even announced playing Hogwarts that she wanted to graduate.
She did not tell me too much. She messaged me at the end of January that, you know, she was deciding this.
Any backlash she got from wanting to play the game had nothing to do with her quitting, yet there's still people pretending the trans community took Pikami away. And sure, she's still getting backlash. There's some people calling Pikami a transphobic pedo, and by some people, I mean like maybe 3 people. In my research for this video, it was rare for me to find anyone hating on Pikami. Rightfully so, because she did nothing wrong, but the amount of hate I've seen towards the trans community is so ridiculous. I had to stop taking screenshots because there was no way I'd fit them all into one video. There are so many things that I don't even think I can show on YouTube. Last thing I wanted to talk about was Pimpkin. Wait, did I say Pimpkin? Oh, fuck it, I'm leaving that in. Pipkin people got in a little controversy. After Pikami's graduation was announced, people understandably took a day off streaming, only for the very next day to play the wizard game. Not because she likes the franchise or anything, in fact, she says she hates it. She just wanted to piss off Twitter, an even less understandable reason to play. Play whatever game you want. I'm not your fucking dad. But if you're doing something you hate just to piss people off, then don't you lose? Isn't the best revenge doing what you like and not giving a fuck what anyone has to say about it? If you're willing to spend money on a franchise you hate just to piss off Twitter, aren't Aren't you the Twitter freak? Anyway, this led to Peepa making a post that she doesn't condone bigotry and doesn't approve of anyone using her to justify it. That's great, and I'm glad she denounced that, but I'm baffled she did not know this would happen. After how blatant transphobia became after Pikami announced her graduation, I don't understand in the slightest how she thought this was a good idea. Oh my god, you're criticizing people for playing the game when earlier you said you don't care who plays the game. I'm not criticizing her for playing it, I'm criticizing the reason behind it. I get Peepa's thing is to be kind of edgy and push buttons, and that's fine. I am a bit of an edgelord myself. But the thing about that is, the more you push buttons, the more your audience will as well, and you have no control of those fuckers. It's why whenever I do tackle videos on controversies and Vtuber drama, I try to tackle it as gently as possible. For one, I don't want my intentions to get misinterpreted and cause further harm, nor do I want my viewers to say or do anything crazy in my name. No one can control their audience, and it's unrealistic to expect that of Peepa. I hate the people that get mad at creators for things their viewers do, like bits. When I decided to make videos of me being a dumbass online, I didn't realize that was a contract to babysit every damn person who happens across my shit. So I want to be clear, I'm not holding her to that standard and blaming her for the actions of people who are old enough to know right from wrong. I just think it's incredibly thoughtless of her. I actually like Peepa. Yeah, I can like the people I criticize. Every time I see a clip of her, I'm like, haha, that's a funny bunny. So it's not a criticism out of malice, and like every video that covers controversial topics, don't harass anyone mentioned. Everyone deserves room to learn and grow as a person. I've seen some people say, oh, that's not actually Peepa denouncing bigotry. I bet Face Connects thought she crossed the line and forced her to post it. First off, to judge your opinion of somebody else's beliefs based on speculation and nothing else is insane. Also, this confused me because a lot of people were mad that Silverville didn't make an official denouncing transphobia statement outside of some Discord posts. But if Silverville did do this, wouldn't you say VShoujo made her post it? And if that's the case, why did you want that statement at all? That's all I had to say, I think. It should go without saying that LGBT creators get harassed without the help of J.K. Rowling. Like this one time, I was watching a stream a trans VTuber was in, and a chatter was asking like super personal and invasive and uncomfortable questions. And the trans person was answering them, but every time somebody was like, hey, stop asking that, you're being rude, they were like, I'm sorry, I just don't know much about trans people. Like, bitch, your Google broken? After they asked about suicide rates, I was like, oh, this can't be unintentional. They're trying to get a reaction. And maybe that's why the trans person on stream was being so nice about it. Maybe she caught on and was like, I ain't giving this person the reaction they want. But this was way before the wizard game even existed. Damn it, even more shit happened again! So, a VTuber by the name of Fallen Shadow is a lollytuber who was recently talking about on stream that they got harassed for, well, being a lolly. Now, I've made my stance on lolicon clear before, but in case you're new here, I think lolicon is an incredibly nuanced issue. Seeing as every definition I've seen has nothing to do with age and everything to do with body type, as somebody who's an extremely petite woman out in the real world who has been mistaken for a kid several times in my adult life, you can probably understand why I'm not an anti. I've actually mentioned this before, but I originally wanted to make my model match my IRL body type. But seeing an increase in VTubers getting called pedophiles for having small bodies, I went the short stack route. Though I do think watering down pedophilia to something as meaningless as a drawing sounds like something a pedophile would do. Now, admittedly, when a character's body type has no nuance and is obviously a kid, lewd content of them makes me uncomfy, so I don't consume it. However, I do understand a lot of lolicons that do consume that kind of content say they were abused as a child and this is a coping mechanism. Whether or not it's a healthy coping mechanism, I don't know, but I think that's a more productive conversation than watering down the word for the worst thing a human can be. Whenever I'm scrolling on Twitter and see art I don't like, at most I might say yucky to myself and keep scrolling. Whenever I'm scrolling on Twitter and seeing people sexualize actual children, the genuine horror I feel isn't comparable in the slightest. Horror where hitting the report button doesn't feel like enough. And I don't know what else to do because what's going on is technically not illegal. Like, it can be a kid doing an innocent TikTok dance, but the comments are completely creepy as fuck. And it's a helpless feeling because you want to do more to stop this shit than just simply hit the report button. But what the fuck else can can you do? This is a long-winded way of saying if Fallen Shadow didn't use this as an excuse to be transphobic, I'd actually be defending her. Regardless of your stance, I think we can all agree nobody should be sent death threats or told to end their life because you don't like their VTuber model. That's genuinely small PP behavior, and she has every right to talk about that. However, it's the fact she was calling her harassers trans and non-binary as if that's some sort of insult that's the issue. You can't say you're not transphobic, then insinuate there's something wrong with being trans.
And there were a bunch of non-binary 12-year-olds with pronouns in their bio.
Transphobes have only one joke, I swear.
There's hundreds of transgender 12-year-olds telling me to kill myself now. No, I shouldn't call them like transgender 12-year-olds. I did a Sif stream where I roleplayed as Good Hitler, and yet posting a picture of my flat chest and saying I have massive boobies is what gets me cancelled! Yeah, there's nothing wrong with having pronouns on your page, but I'm just saying, whenever every single person who is quote retweeting me has them in their bio, I don't know how that makes me feel. That's all I'm saying.
Someone really needs to help Fallen Shadow. She's trapped in 2016 and can't find her way out. Unsurprisingly, transphobes started following her, which caused her to release this statement. Just a polite reminder. Please do not harass anyone, especially not in my name or for me. I do not condone harassment towards anyone. I've always advocated for spreading love. And even if someone is saying something mean about me, please ignore or report it and move on. Like, I'm a firm believer that anyone can change for the better, and that should be encouraged. But you can't blatantly say bigoted things, then feign shock that you gain an audience of bigots. I've always advocated for spreading love. Where? In a time where transphobia has been so blatant and masked off in the VTuber community, you choose to paint the trans community as bullies harassing you. You decided to paint trans as something wrong to be. At least with Peepa, it was just her being edgy and thoughtless. From what I saw, it wasn't her being like, yeah, trans people are bad. And then making a statement like, please don't be transphobic, I'd never condone that. Saying you don't advocate for hate means nothing when all people know you for is advocating for hate. Everyone can learn and grow and change, and I genuinely hope this VTuber will. But holy hell, the mental gymnastics. If you're still watching, thank you. I certainly hope I did an okay job at shedding light on this issue. I certainly hope things can change for the better. Current events in the real world haven't been super kind to the LGBT, and everyone deserves a place where they can escape from all that. If you want to be a VTuber and you felt discouraged from joining us, I'm so sorry. Please don't hold yourself back from doing what makes you happy. That goes for everyone. Anyway, bye! This video took longer than I thought to make because so much kept happening and I really didn't feel articulate enough to tackle this topic. It's a topic that deserves delicacy and respect. I also wanted to get trans VTubers to come in this video and explain and discuss their experience as a trans VTuber to get all sorts of perspectives and probably explain it better than I could. I'm actually super duper shy and have so much social anxiety that I just couldn't bring myself to ask anyone. I also didn't want to potentially cause issues by being like, hi, our guests are all these trans VTubers. This is their Twitter handle and links to their Twitch. While so much transphobia is running rampant in our community, I'm not trans. At least I don't think I am. I'm pretty Haruhi Fujioka in the sense that I'm fine with whatever gender identity you see me as. But I am in the LGBT, and I rarely talk about it because it's still kind of scary for me to openly talk about. But those of us in the LGBT gotta stick together, right? So I hope I did this topic justice.